1, 2, 3.
This is Marina Chang reporting live from Surf Expo 2008 for Kiteforum.com, the Kiteboarder Magazine at asnews.net. We're here today with North Kiteboarding and Sky Solbach. Sky, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with North?
My name's Sky Solbach. I'm 25 and from the USA. I've been working for North Kiteboarding for about 4, maybe 5 years now. Basically, what I do most of the time is product development. So Ken Winter, the designer, and I spend the whole year designing all the kites, the Rebel, Rhino, and Vegas, as well as working on surfboards and twin tips as well.
What was the transition like for you, Sky, going from you're quite a popular pro rider for many years, gracing many of the magazines in the kiteboarding world. What was the transition like going from being a pro rider to the other side of the realm? Because right now you basically play both roles.
Yeah, right now I'm sort of, balancing being a team rider and traveling and competing and doing photo shoots and video and whatnot with doing all the product development at the same time. I don't know, the transition was sort of not really, it was just sort of a natural transition. I was always sort of really into tweaking my gear, and I don't know, maybe not tweaking my gear, but I was just really particular about what I wanted to ride. And so I think it was just sort of a natural progression to move into developing gear and making stuff that's fun to ride.
So Sky, right now we're checking out the 2009 Pro line. Can you tell us a little bit in general about what may have changed along the entire line in general terms?
So 3 of the boards have stayed the same. We still have the Sky and the Caesar and the Mallory. We've added one more board to the Pro line, which is the Youngblood. So that's now the same construction and the same sort of feel as the rest of the Pro line. In general, the boards have all gotten bigger, so they've all stepped up in size. The Caesar is about the same size as my board was last year, and same with the Mallory has also stepped up, and the Youngblood is now the same size that the Mallory was last year. So everything's gotten bigger. I think that's just sort of a general trend. Just for all our team riders, just going with a bigger board allows you to ride a smaller kite. A bigger board, means more pop, and you can land faster and harder because you have a bigger platform to land on. Also, the construction has changed for 2009. We've gone to a wood core, so it's no longer a foam core, it's solid wood. That allowed us to make a board that's softer and flexier, but still really strong. So the boards are nice and thin, and they're really strong and flexy. And then we've added a big carbon strip right down the middle to keep it really springy and poppy. So
let's go into a little bit more detail on your particular board, the Sky Pro model. Can you tell us about the performance characteristics and what type of rider might most enjoy the Sky model?
Yeah, well, the Sky's the biggest board in the Pro line. So first of all, just bigger and heavier riders, or riders looking for a big board will like this board. It's 43 cm wide and 138 long. So it's a pretty big board, but it's still got pretty narrow tips. So even some smaller riders have been riding this board, and it doesn't feel too big. It actually rides pretty small for its size. But yeah, wake style riders, people who are looking for a board that edges really hard, goes really fast, and just has mega pop. Just you can land it really hard and it sticks really well on the landings, and yeah.
So moving on to the Caesar board, can you tell us a little about this particular model and the type of riding, the type of rider that might most enjoy this one?
Yeah, same sort of thing. It's just a little bit smaller than mine, so sort of a medium-sized rider will like this board. Same sort of concept as my board, just really aggressive edging board. It has a lot of pop. Can land it really hard and fast. So same sort of deal. Wake-style riders that just want to go hard and fast and ride really aggressively will like this board.
Okay, so moving on to the Mallory board. Okay, well let's go ahead and take a look at the back of the Caesar board and the graphics. Pretty fun. So moving on to Mallory's board, can you tell us a little bit about what went into this particular board?
Same sort of thing. We all got to test our own boards. We were all just sent a big pack of boards and got to basically go through them and weed out the bad ones and keep the good ones. And Yeah, similar concept as all the other, all the pro boards are pretty much the same sort of feel, just really aggressive, edging, and just no compromise,
So moving on to the Youngblood board, I believe that this is the first time that this is being introduced into the pro line. Can you tell us a little bit about this and the accessories on that come on all the pro line boards?
Yeah, so the Youngblood is new to the pro line. We've had the Youngblood now for 2 years, I believe, and it's been a really successful seller. So it only made sense to bring it into the pro line and give it a really high-end construction and really cool-looking graphics. It's great for groms that are getting into it that want to throw handle passes and are pushing their riding. I know it's not going to hold them back. It's a no-compromise board. So yeah, these are the accessories that come with all the North boards. We have new pads for 2009. They're these nice molded pads. They're really cushy, super soft. Feels like you're in a nice cushy pair of slippers when you slip your feet into the straps there. We have new straps. Same sort of connection here on the board. It's really easy to just drop the screw in and screw them in. You're not sort of wrestling with the strap to get it bolted into the board. It's got a nice foamy grab handle, and then all the pro boards come with these 5cm TFC G10 fins. They're solid G10, so you can hit rocks with them, and they won't delam or anything. You just take a little piece of sandpaper and sand them up.
So does the new pro line also have a different finish on them from the other boards, or you had mentioned something about that, or?
Yeah, so all the 2009 boards now have a glossy finish on the top, so it's just gives them that nice sort of shine. Looks really cool, and it's really like you can take sand basically and just rub it into the finish. You can try to scratch it with metal, and it's really resistant to scratching, so it keeps the board looking shiny and new for a really long time.
We're now looking at the next generation 2009 Haime Pro. Can you tell us a little bit more about the various sizes that the board's coming in, and maybe what riders, the most noticeable differences that riders may see when they first get on this one?
Yeah, sure. So this is the Haime Pro 2009. This is a 132 I'm holding here. It also comes in a 128 and a 135. So 3 different sizes of that: small, medium, large. Yeah, this board is basically a freestyle free-ride board. So for people who want to do some freestyle, but just want to get out and jump and have a board that's really comfortable through chop and really easy to ride. Jaime's getting a little older and he needs a break on his knees, so it's a little more comfortable to ride. Not real technical to ride, and just really smooth and comfortable, basically.
Were there any noticeable design, what would you call it? Were there any noticeable design goals from 2009 to 2008?
Yeah, just adding on last year's concept, keeping it really comfortable and smooth. I think the construction has helped a lot with this board, as it has with all the boards. Having the wood core and the carbon has just really smoothed the boards out even more. So this board is really comfortable, even if it's really choppy. It just feels really smooth. It has this nice, damp, sort of soft feeling when you're going through chop. So it just makes it easier to ride.
So, Sky, now we're looking at the next generation X-Ride board for 2009. Can you tell us a little bit about the most noticeable differences or the performance characteristics that North worked on for developing this particular model?
Yeah, well, this is the X-Ride. It comes in a 129, a 135, and a 141. So 3 different sizes of that. It's basically, the X-Ride is a crossover board. It's a really great board for people who want to ride a twin tip, but also get into the surf, carve turns in the surf, or just ride waves on a twin tip, basically. The fins here are swept back, so it gives you a little bit of extra grip, which makes it really good for carving. It holds really well through a turn. And it's also really easy to load up for a jump because you have a lot of fins to push off of. It's also got rounded rails and concave, which just makes it feel really smooth. It's sort of got a little bit of a surfy feel and a pretty curvy, sort of roundish outline. So yeah, it carves really well and is easy to load up for a jump, basically.
So if I'm the type of rider that lives at the ocean and has waves, but also enjoys freestyle, what would you recommend? Would I prefer perhaps the X-Ride boards, or would I prefer maybe one of the pro models of the Haime Pro?
Well, I think if you're, if you're riding in the surf a lot, even if it's just small, sort of onshore, mushy surf, this is a really great option. Just because, you can go full speed and just bank off of waves and get that really surfy, carvy feeling, but still have the ability to, maybe unhook and do a couple of freestyle moves. And it's a really versatile board.
North has introduced, or not introduced, but is continuing the Paris model and for women. Can you tell us a little bit about the boards and how they're specifically catering to the women versus the boards for the men?
So yeah, the Paris is a girl-specific board. There's a lot more girls riding now, and we need to make boards to suit them. So this is the Paris Pro model. So this is basically the model that Angela and Anya and a lot of our pro team female riders are using, competing with all the time, all over the world. So the way it's specific to women is it's just got a lot softer flex. So women are a bit lighter than men, so they need a board that flexes more. So yeah, it's specific for women. It's also got a wood core and a carbon strip. So this is the really high-end construction on this board. So this one is 126 by 37. And then we have another Paris model that has a PVC core that's a bit more of a free ride oriented board. So it's 129 by 37, so just a little bit longer, which makes it a little bit more free ride oriented, little probably smoother through the chop, just a little bit easier to ride. And this one, the Pro model, is a no compromise, just sort of pro competition board for going really fast and popping and landing really hard.
How about the accessories that come on it? Did North develop kind of different accessories or smaller accessories for the women, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, we actually have a women's strap now, so it's a foot strap that's just a lot smaller. So, women with small feet can actually have a foot strap that fits them.
So the 2009 North Gonzalez board is North's price point board. Can you tell us a little bit about what makes it a price point board?
Yeah. So, yeah, this is the Gonzalez. It's our price point board. Comes in 3 sizes, 135, a 143, and a 151. Yeah, what makes it a price point board is basically, I think it's got the same core, same construction, but it doesn't have the fancy step cap of a lot of the other North boards. Doesn't have the glossy finish or the really expensive fancy graphics. So just sort of cut out, just cut it right down to the basics. And it's a great free ride board, just sort of a cruiser board. People who want to get out, and ride around and do some jumps and have a nice free ride board. The Gonzalez is a really good one for that. Comes in 3 sizes, so you can sort of just pick your size, and works for all different weights of riders. So the accessories on the Gonzalez are the same as all the other boards. So it's got the nice G10 fins, nice cushy pads, grab handle, straps. Everything comes stock. Same with all the North boards.
So, Sky, the Phantom is North's lightwind bad boy. Can you tell us a little bit more about what may have changed from year to year on the Phantom board line?
Yeah, so this year there's 2 sizes of Phantom. There's a 141 and a 156. It's basically just a big lightwind twin tip. So people who don't want to ride the race board because it's a directional can grab the Phantom. It's a twin tip. You can get out in really light wind on it and cruise around. It's bi-directional. Major changes from last year are basically the outline. Last year we had sort of this big cutout on the toe side to release drag. This year we've just gone with a big square sort of fridge door looking thing. Yeah, it's just really great for light wind.
So, Sky, you said that the Phantom comes in 2 different board sizes. What type of riders and what kind of conditions might prefer the 156 compared to, I believe it was the 141 is the smaller size? Okay.
Yeah, so the 150, what did you just say? 156 is just a really light wind twin tip. So this board will just get you out, basically before any other twin tip in our whole line will. You can ride it on a big kite in really light wind and just get out and plane and get upwind fast. The 141 is this board's smaller brother. It's a lot more freestyle oriented, so it's actually a high performance freestyle board, but just aimed at getting out in the lightest wind possible. You can get out on that board when it's really light and actually do, you know, high performance freestyle with it.
So the big boy has this interesting fin configuration on it. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's all about?
Yeah, so this board is so wide that it doesn't really make sense to have a fin all the way over here, because with a board this wide, I don't think there's any way you're going to be able to ever ride it toe side anyway. So yeah, just having two fins here gives you a little extra grip and gets you upwind and planing.
Sky, we're now looking at the Drew Pro model in the contact line. Can you tell us a little bit more about this entire line and the different options that we have and where it fits within the directional board line for North?
Sure, yep. So this is the 2009 Contact. I'm holding the 510 Drew Beavis Pro model here. The Contact comes in three sizes. There's a 5.8 and a 5.10, which are both Drew's Pro models. And then there's a 6.1 that is my Pro model. They are high-performance thruster fin designs. They excel in you know, big, good wave conditions, but you know, we've been riding them in small surf, strapless, and you know, they're just sort of a really good all-round board. They're really grippy, like really, you can really lay into a turn really hard, and they'll hold through anything. They have a bit flatter rocker than some of the boards that we've had in previous years. So they just feel really stable, really grippy, and you can really crank them through a turn as hard as you want.
So perhaps somebody with more of a surfing background versus somebody that is transitioning from a twin tip to a directional, this would be for a more experienced rider then, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's for someone who really wants to get into waves and you know, do turns like a pro and, you know, go fast and ride hard and do really solid cutbacks. This is a really great choice. You know, it's a high performance, no compromise surfboard.
Many of the boards this year are also including the quad fin line. What is your personal preference between quads and thrusters?
I don't know. I mean, I ride a bit of both. For the most part, I'd say I ride thrusters, you know, most of the time. But I've been starting to ride our quad board too, and it's working well on small surf. So I mostly stick with thrusters, but occasionally I'll jump on a quad board. Okay, so for 2009, we also implemented future fin boxes. This is a really popular fin system in the surf world. Basically, it just makes it really easy, you know, to swap out your fins if you want to get technical about putting different fins in and trying different fins. Or also, you know, if you're on a trip somewhere and you happen to break a fin, it's easy to walk into any surf shop anywhere in the world and purchase a future fin.
We're now previewing the Bullet line. Can you tell us a little bit about why a rider might prefer the Bullet compared to the Contact directional line?
Sure. The Bullet is a quad fin surfboard, so it's really great for sort of small to medium surf. It's a bit wider and shorter than the Contact, so it really excels in sort of small to medium surf because it works it operates at a lower speed really well than the Contact. So if you're riding small surf, you can get into a wave and sort of pump it and generate speed off the fins and off the wide outline. Also, because it's shorter and fatter, it sort of fits in the pocket of a smaller wave than the Contact does.
Can you go over the accessories a little bit with us on this particular model as well, Sky?
Sure. Yep. So all the surfboards come with these straps, nice cushy straps. Also, we have a kick pad on both ends. So if you're going to ride strapless, it's really nice to have a kick pad on both feet because if you're coming down from like a strapless air, a lot of times if you're just riding with say wax or even with a flat pad, your foot can you can do the splits and sort of slip off. So this pad sort of prevents you from doing the splits and stops your foot from sliding off. Also, just as on all the surfboards, we have future fin system. So you take any future fin and it'll work in this box. All the fins are glass fins, so they're nice and solid and durable.
Were there any construction changes made from 2008 to 2009 in the directional board line?
Yep, all the surfboards have a different construction. I actually wouldn't even be able to tell you what it is, other than just going by feel. The factory sent us a bunch of sample boards, and what we did is basically rode them back to back with our custom boards, and just tried to get them to feel as close as possible to like a custom polyester surfboard. Because nothing really at this point, in my opinion, beats the feel of just a regular old custom polyester surfboard. So we just tried to really mimic that feel and try to get them to work like that.
What kind of warranty policy comes on the directionals and the twin tips? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea what the warranty policy is, but they're strong. I haven't been able to break one yet. I ride them pretty hard, and I've never snapped one. So
Sky, we're now previewing the 2009 North Freestyle fish. Can you tell us what type of rider would most appreciate this particular board and changes that were made from last year to this year?
Yeah, so the Freestyle fish is a great sort of entry-level waveboard, or just a small waveboard. It's really fun just to go out strapless on it in small sort of onshore surf, and just practice doing sort of like freestyle on waves. It's got these sky hooks that are you can go strapless, but you still have the option of putting your feet. You can still move your feet around on the board a lot, so you have the advantages of riding strapless, but you can still put your feet in here and use them as straps to do airs off the wave or 360s or just jumping over whitewater. It's pretty wide and short, so it's really stable. So people who are want to go out and work on jibes, switching their feet around, it's really stable and easy to do that. This board also comes in two sizes now. So this is the 5.0 that I'm holding here, and it also comes in a 5.3. So we just added one more size from last year. So the 2009 Freestyle fish comes stock with these sky hooks. It also comes with foot straps, so you have the option of riding either or. It's also got the future fin system, just as in all the other wave boards. Nice high-quality glass fins with good foils.
So Sky, for 2009, North is introducing its first race board. Can you tell us a little bit about what, obviously it has a very different shape, different fin configuration, etc. What went into the development of this board, and what are the performance characteristics that North was going for in developing this particular model?
Well, a lot of our team, like Sean Farley, has been really, also Charles DeLow, have been really into racing this year and going around the world and winning all these races. And so basically, during the development process of this board, we were just going through all these custom boards and trying to make a board that basically went upwind really well and get around a course as fast as possible. Most of that is just being able to go upwind. The first person to reach the windward mark is the one who usually wins the race. So our goal was just to make a board that went upwind well and was comfortable enough to ride downwind. And what we ended up with is a board that not only did that, but also rides in really light wind. So you can get out, if you can fly a kite, if you can be on a 14 or 16 in really light wind, step on this board and you can get out and cruise in ridiculously light wind. So there's been a lot of hype about this board this year, and we're the first company to come out with a full-blown race board. And so some of the design characteristics are, obviously a really wide tail that gives you a lot of back foot pressure, so you always have something to push against, even in really light wind. Also, we spent a lot of time working on fins. Tried bigger fins, smaller fins, different fin positions, and we ended up going with a twin fin, just for less drag. More fins, more drag. So instead of going with a quad, we ended up with a twin fin just to reduce the drag. They're angled out like this so that when you're on edge, if you can imagine, your board's riding flat like this, so when you're on edge, you have the most amount of fin vertically straight down on the water. What that also does is it brings this fin up sort of out of the water and reduces drag on the water releasing off your toe side.
We had a podcast a few months ago with a custom board maker who is really getting into the development of race boards. And one of the things that he said is that with race boards that, they go upwind great, etc., but as far as using them for any type of surf or freestyle or anything, they're not designed for that. Is that basically what's going on with this board?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you wouldn't want to, do unhooked freestyle on this board. You'd definitely probably hurt yourself. I mean, the great thing about this board is you can just get out before anyone else does. You know, you can be those days where you're sitting on the beach and watching it and thinking it's not windy enough to kite. You can most likely get out and cruise around on this board, and you can even jump it. Like, because you're able to ride so soon, it's got very little resistance when it's riding, so you can easily edge up into the wind and sort of boost little jumps even when it's really light wind. So it's just a great, board to get out and ride in light wind. And, if you're into racing, you can race your friends around a course, and that's really fun as well.